2, 1. We are live for a new podcast, Electrek Podcast. I'm Fred Lambert, your host, and as usual, I'm joined by Seth Wintraub. How are you doing, Seth?
I'm good.
All right. We have a lot to talk about today, and we're going to go pretty fast because I need to catch a plane. We just got the proxy statement from Tesla to shareholders this morning, so we're going to have quite a bit to talk about regarding that. But that actually followed the Master Plan Part 4 that was released earlier this week, so we're going to start out with that because it's kind of it kind of sets the stage for the proxy statement that was released this morning. So Master Plan Part 4 has been teased for more than a year, and it comes not too long after Part 3 that was kind of a flop. Elon himself said that it was hard to understand, that people didn't really it's pretty straightforward. It was about scaling all of Tesla's business. It just was nothing too precise about it. But Part 4 is unsurprisingly the shift to AI. That's the focus of it. Like I call it in the headline here, a smorgasbord of vague AI promises. It's pretty much it. There's no concrete product roadmap in there. It's nowhere near what the Master Plan Part 1 and Part 2 were, which were clear step-by-step plan to achieve Tesla's mission to accelerate the advance of electric transport, and then in Part 2 also renewable energy. And again, Part 2 is not even complete yet. Elon himself said it. He thinks it's going to happen next year, but obviously we've heard that one before. The plan, honestly, I won't even read it or quote it. There's nothing really concrete in there. It's what I can quote is the sustainable abundance. That's the main thing that kept coming back. It's buzzword, AI buzzwords after AI buzzword. Honestly, it sounds like it's been written by an AI. The whole post. It's how AI is right. Sometimes it's very flowery, but there's no meat to it. I don't know if that makes sense, but it feels like that throughout the entire post here, and it's all about AI robots, about Robotaxi, but without anything more concrete than we're gonna make it happen. And it's really disappointing because, like I said, the first two plans were clear. We're gonna release this type of vehicle that's gonna be performing like that at this price range, and then this is gonna enable us to go there, and then we're gonna have mass transit electric vehicles in the Master Plan Part 2. We're gonna combine that with energy storage and renewable energy generation, and that's gonna complete the mission to accelerate the advance of sustainable economy. Really, now it's about infinite growth, about abundance, about all this utopic kind of idea that AI is just gonna save the world, which is a possibility in my mind, but I kind of want something more concrete. I want to say, okay, if that's your vision, sure, how do we get there? Because so far there's zero evidence to get there. Sure, everybody can see the usefulness of a humanoid robot, that it's affordable and can perform useful tasks. It's just that we don't see Tesla delivering that right now. Every Tesla demonstration of the Optimus robot so far has been powered by humans remotely. There was the incident at the Tesla diner where it was serving popcorn for the first hour of the opening day, and then it's been reportedly down since then. It's been not working, or AKA the Tesla didn't pay an engineer to work the robot to serve popcorn full time. That's probably more the explanation.
Yeah, I think it broke during the when there's an internet outage because the guy controlling the popcorn, or the woman controlling the popcorn robot, wasn't able to connect.
Yeah, so that was the first excuse they had, and then they haven't worked the robot since then. So obviously we're so far from this, and they're just selling us this utopic future where there's gonna be abundance for everyone, and
Yeah, and that the abundance theme follows on the Ezra Klein, Derek Thompson book that's quite popular right now. Written from a more liberal standpoint than this, but the same idea. You could tell, like, a lot of, if you've read the book, a lot of this idea is cribbed from that book. So, take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are buying into that right now, and there's something to it. Like, we want to strive for a better future, and that sounds like a better future. It's just the problem is, like, the way that Tesla is approaching this now, very vaguely, sounds more like a stock pump than anything else. Like when the companies start talking about infinite growth, you're like, all right, red flag.
Exactly.
And this is what exactly it sounds like. And then you have to match that, the master plan part 4 release, with what just happened this morning. I wake up and I finally get the proxy statement for Tesla shareholder meeting, where we get the proposal. And obviously the headline grabbing proposal is the new compensation package. So if you haven't been following the saga that has been Elon's compensation package, the original one from 2018, that was like completed by 2022, 2023, something like that, was rescinded by a judge because the judge found that Elon was basically negotiating against, or not negotiating at all, against himself, because he had full control of the board. So the package was rescinded, and they tried to get it approved a second time by shareholder, which they did by vote, but then they used the exact same proxy, and they didn't correct any of the issues that the judge found. So the judge was like, yeah, you cannot do that. That's not how it works. So Tesla was like, all right, if it's not how it works, then last month they just gave Elon a $26 billion package as a sort of like, sorry for not being able to give you more money than the company has earned since its inception. So instead, we're going to just give you roughly that the same amount of money, 26 billion. And later, they signal that later they're going to release a new, bigger, longer term package. That's going to be this time submitted for shareholder approval, because the 26 billion wasn't. It was like straight up approved by the board. And now we have it here. And it's worth $1 trillion for Elon. It's a nice $1 trillion in stock option if he achieves a few milestones, including increasing the market cap to 8.5 trillion. So basically an 8.5 increase from where it is right now. And then also putting 1 million Robotaxi into operation, which, as we know now, doesn't mean much, because we know what Tesla calls a Robotaxi now that Austin has been deployed. And delivering 1 million robots. So they need to put 1 million Optimus on the ground, which is probably the most difficult of those milestones. But at the same time, they don't need to be super useful, or
they can serve popcorn.
Yeah, they could exactly. They could do that. They could do very minimal work, and Elon would still get his package. So basically, Elon has to pump the stock 8.5 times, and he becomes a trillionaire. Which, by the way, probably would already become a trillionaire without that package. Because here's the main thing: Elon is
going to be a multi-trillionaire.
Already the biggest shareholder. He's already the single person that benefits the most from Tesla stock increasing. There's actually no need to give him more money. I retweeted last week a quote from Jeff Bezos that I really liked, where he was asked by, I think, Sorkin, like, to your entire tenure as the CEO of Amazon, you've never taken any more equity, any stock option in the company. And then he explained, he's like, yeah, didn't make sense to me, because I already benefited a lot from Amazon just by going up. So I think he took like a regular like salary for being CEO, like $100,000 or whatever. And then the rest was like, the stock goes up, I become rich. And he became one of the richest men in the world. Like, that was kind of a good deal. And I did really like his other responses. Like, yeah, maybe I'm not the richest man in the world anymore, because Elon, but we shouldn't be there shouldn't be a list of people that are the richest people in the world. There should be a list of people that created the most equity for the world. And in that case, he created a lot more than Elon. And that's fair, because Elon is better at getting a higher percentage of the equity that he creates. And also there's question about, how legit the equity that he's creating is, because a lot of Tesla's has quite frankly become a meme stock now. So it's more pumped than actual value. But yeah, this thing is going to be up to a vote November 6th. And I do like the timing. Tesla is smart with the timing here, because Tesla's going to have a great Q3. We know why. A lot of demand being pulled forward into Q3 due to the tax credit. So Tesla's going to have a banger Q3. Tesla's going to release the result October 2nd, October 3rd for a delivery. Going to be quite well. Then a few weeks later, end of October, they're going to have their earnings. Going to be a very good earnings, the last one for probably a few quarters. Yep. And then they're going to have the shareholder meeting. Just perfect timing. They timed that perfectly for a shareholder to gobble this up, and it's going to pass easily. And then the shareholders are going to be completely bound to Elon pumping the stock for the next 10 years.
Which, he's done a good job of pumping the stock, clearly.
Oh yeah, that's pumping stock, raising money is two of his greatest skills.
Yep.
And one of the latest pump is Robotaxi. Robotaxi is now testing on highways, but it has a driver's safety monitor has been moved to the driver's seat. Is the headline here? So, which I approve. By the way, people are going to say, "Hey, where are you aiding?" I'm not aiding. I think this should have been the case since the beginning. I think that moving the safety monitor to the passenger seat was a move made for optics, because Tesla thinks it looks better. But in terms of safety, having a finger on the kill switch to stop the vehicle is not as safe as having more controls to the steering wheels, obviously, and the brakes. So I prefer that. Tesla is saying that it's because of the move to highway. So obviously highways, higher speed. Makes more sense than that, which right there, it should be concerning for people. Like, oh well, yeah, we are moving them to the driver's seat because it's more dangerous at higher speed. So they're saying that there's still plenty of errors at lower speed, is that we can catch them easier because they're at lower speed. People should be worried about that stuff. But I think the main issue here is also the new law that's been, like, the timing of it is perfect. Tesla says that it's because of they're starting to test on highway, but at the same time they did it exactly when the new Texas law, the SB 2807, has come into effect September 1st, and it has a lot of stricter oversight of autonomous driving system. So basically, to be considered an autonomous driving system, you need to prove to be level 4 or 5, which requires absolutely no human oversights, and Tesla obviously doesn't have that. So I think Tesla actually is required, even though like they're arguing that they're not, to have someone in the driver's seat, because it's officially not a level 4 system. And that's what you need to be operating a commercial robotaxi service in Texas as of Monday, I think. Yep. All right. That's it for our Tesla news this week. I'm going to have a lot more to talk about next week, because I'm going to have to go through all the filings today. But then we have a couple of Volvo news. We have some Volkswagen news. We have the BMW iX3 that's been unveiled. A new design language from Audi, some wireless charging, and GM cutting production, and we're going to get through as fast as we can. If we can get to that fast enough, we're going to have some times to take some comments, some questions, but you have to be quick. I see that the Specular is already in the chat. We have Carl's already in the chat. So if you have questions, you can put in the comment section. We're going to try to get to them in about 30 minutes or so, but we'll see. We have a new Volvo electric sedan being released, the ES90. So completing, Volvo has been mostly focused on SUV, as most automakers have, but they're now expanding into the electric sedan world with this full-size sedan on an 800 volt platform, getting 435 miles of range, 700 kilometers, but that's on the WLTP. 350 kilowatt top charging rate, adding 300 kilometers of range, 186 miles in just 10 minutes. That's very good. It's using an 800 volt platform. What else is interesting about that thing? Powered, that range is achieved through a 102 kilowatt hour battery pack. It has an NVIDIA Orin computer in it for powering its ADAS system. Oh, I like it. I mean, the interior of Volvo are always solid.
Yep.
Starting price is going to be 72,000 euros, which is equivalent to $84,000, but that's with that. And the IRS trim option is going to go for 95,000 euros.
Do we think this is coming to North America?
I have my doubts that everything that's not an SUV doesn't sell well, so especially in that price range.
Yeah.
But this is pretty good. Like, this is going to be a Model S competitor, a Lucid Air competitor.
Yeah.
It's but again, these vehicles don't sell too much in the US. So is it worth really launching there?
I mean, it looks a little bit. It looks a little bit like an SUV, a little bit like a Polestar 2-ish kind of thing.
Yeah. It's a fastback. So
yeah.
But people like to be tall. People like to have a big trunk.
Yep.
And then we have some details set on the EX60, a little smaller SUV.
Yeah, Volvo's going to announce that January 21st. It'll be in production later next year. The EX60, that's 60 represents Volvo's kind of like mid-size platform. So it's kind of Model Y size. Just the very, generic middle-sized SUV, which is also I think the highest grossing segment in the car world by far. Mm-hmm. So this will be a big vehicle for them. It'll be built in Gothenburg. For U.S. folks, it won't get the Chinese tax that some of Volvo's. Some of Volvo's Geely built vehicles have, like the EX30. So you don't have to worry about that. Or you'll get the normal tariffs, whatever those are at the time. Volvo also says that it's going to be its longest range EV ever, which depending on if you take the ES90 into consideration, means it's going to have, I would say pretty close to 350 miles EPA, which is huge. Probably going to have the same over 100 kilowatt hour battery, which is nice. And I think probably the biggest deal is it's built on the SPA3 platform, but it's got that the battery is the part of the car build, so it's not you don't need to have a battery separate from the frame of the car, and that'll save space, save production time, money, et cetera, et cetera. So they're really doing the same thing that Tesla and I guess Ford now is doing, or will soon do, and a lot of the Chinese automakers are doing.
Yeah. Geely is bringing a lot of the Chinese automakers are doing worldwide with their approach. They're learning from every angle.
Yep.
We had a little bit more details, a little bit more unveiling on what is now called the ID.Polo. So we knew it as the ID2 for a while. So it's it's going to be the cheapest as of now of Volkswagen's electric vehicle lineup. It's not going to be the ID1 or ID Life, which is going to be even cheaper. That's going to be the $25,000 one, but this is the €25,000, $29,000 EV. So it's going from the ID2 to the ID.Polo, and we have some new pictures with some heavy camouflage, obviously. But we have a nice little cheap electric hatchback coming, which is very exciting, starting next year, and it's gonna have the Polo badging on it, and they confirmed they're gonna have a GTI version. I don't think they've said it's going to be all-wheel drive, but it's going to be like a nice little hot hatch, all electric, which is really exciting. I think I really like that Volkswagen is doing that now. Like you've been, a lot of people have been talking about this. Like at one point, like Renault was going to do it. We tried for years, especially you said trying to get GM to do something like that with the Bolt EV. Even though I think the Bolt EV is a little bit bigger than this, I would think it's.
Yeah.
So maybe they do with the new one, but I think this is going to be the first like really like affordable electric hatch, and then on top of it, we're going to use the same platform. That Volkswagen is saying that they're going to use the same platform to have a GTI version, which is going to be very exciting. This is all launching next year, but you can see it next week also at the Munich Motor Show.
EAA.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
And are these coming to the US, do you think?
Oh no. I mean, maybe at some point.
I feel like we got to get one to the US, and they're calling it the Polo because of Volkswagen's idea to stop, coming up with just numbers, ID1, ID2, ID3. They're trying to make it more like regular cars.
Yeah, and they want to keep some of their lineup alive. So they also confirmed that the T-Cross is going to have an electric version, probably going to be called ID Cross. So a lot of their new affordable mass market electric vehicles are going to reuse the same badging as their existing lineup. All right, we just got the unveiling of the iX3 that just came out too when I was sleeping, so I haven't had time to check it out. But this is the new version of the iX3, a whole new generation. And it's a new platform. Everything is new, basically, and I think BMW is betting big on this as like as their to sort of catch up to competition in the lower luxury segment with an electric SUV midsize that is capable of achieving higher volume, let's say. So it's the 6th generation platform. They are talking about achieving a WLTP range of 500 miles, 800 kilometers. That's the big headline. Obviously, on the EPA scale, it should be closer to 400 miles, which is still very good, obviously. 800 volt platform, 400 kilowatt peak charging. Wow, that's good. 230 miles, 270 kilometers in just 10 minutes. So very similar to what we just talked about with the ES90 from Volvo. It's going to have its new operating system X that's going to run on 17.9 infotainment display. Oh, wow. This is just like the Xiaomi YU7.
Yeah.
The heads-up display that's actually a screen embedded deep in the dash. It looks exactly like the YU7. They call it the panoramic iDrive system. This was actually like really good to in the YU7. I have to admit, at first I was a little bit skeptical. I was like, I think I prefer just a regular heads-up display. But after a while, I kind of enjoyed it, and it's something that like everyone in the car can enjoy rather than just the driver too. So it's pretty good. It's about the same size as the Porsche Macan. There's a new computer in there that's 20 times faster than the current version in the iX3. Production will start later this year at the new plant in Debrecen. I don't know that one. Delivery start in Europe early 2026, and then in the summer it's going to be in the US. So actually one car is going to be in the US. Starting price of 68, basically 69,000 euros, 81,000 US. But again, that's with the VAT. So I would assume that the US pricing gonna come down to probably closer to 60s, I would say, starting price, and then going up into the 80s with different models. Oh no, 55 they say actually in the US. Okay, so this price is probably just for the EX EX350 xDrive. Okay, so that's the new version. Again, I'm learning this at the same time as you guys because I
what do you think of that grille design? It looks strange, doesn't it?
Yeah, the beaver teeth.
Yeah, they went in a weird direction with that.
Yeah, I mean that's they call it the liver grill, BMW. Some call them the beaver teeth. I think they are a little bit thinner than they used to, so even more pronounced.
Just
maybe I don't mind it. I don't mind.
Not a fan.
But let me see here for the US because the new iX3 will be available in the summer 2026. Okay, starting at around $60,000 with an estimated range of 400 miles. In early 2027, they will launch the iX3 40S drive and iX3 40 xDrive. So I think that's the smaller battery pack, rear-wheel drive, and then all-wheel drive. At a starting price of under $55,000 with slightly over 300 miles. So that's really good. So the base version basically is going to compete with the Model Y and probably like a Model YL kind of competitor, and then go up from there. And it's apparently going to launch around the same time. So the speculator says a kidney grill, not liver grill. You're right. I'm still waking up. Absolutely. Audi Concept C. So BMW came to Munich with an actual vehicle. Audi came with a concept, which we don't get too excited about the Electrek when it's a concept vehicle. However, there's some interesting things about this one, at least according to Autocar. This concept reportedly previews a potential all-electric TT replacement sports car that is aimed for production as soon as 2027. So this concept called Concept C is also this also so that that's Autocar saying that this might be basically the upcoming TT, and based on the Autocar information, the concept is pretty close to what they aim to bring to production, which is a nice little hardtop sports coupe, like the TT. But the overall design language, even Audi says that this is actually where they're going right now. So this Concept C, which kind of a bold, minimalist, that kind of retro looking, but also futuristic at the same time, which is always a good when you can mix those both. Like you can see like the retro influence on it while still look at it as like, oh, this is like a vehicle of the future. This is generally a good vibe that you want to have on a concept vehicle. This might actually be what future Audis are going to look like. I particularly like the interior set. Look at the interior here. Some analog stuff. The screens are you can hide them. They're foldable, so you can get some kind of like real fully old school analog look to it while still enjoying the user interface that comes with touchscreen and screens in general. But look at the door handle here. Kind of like June vibe a little bit. I like it. And they say that this vision is like going to be their new corporate identity as well. So they kind of try to embody and design their corporate identity that's going to focus on clarity. So, and I kind of see it because I like the concept. The concept is minimalist, clear, has some soul to it, but at the same time is just no frill. And the front end is very strong, very aggressive, very grounded. I really enjoy it. I hope they're actually going to make this too, because not just the overall design getting into the Audi lineup, but the electric sports car / TT replacement itself, because there's not a lot of sports car EVs. I mean, there's some supercars and all that, but not in the TT price range. And then also at IAA, Porsche unveiled induction charging that's going to be released on the Cayenne set.
Yeah, so we've seen inductive chargers before. This is probably one of those. I couldn't really identify which one, but 11 kilowatts is pretty fast. It's a $5,000 option for the upcoming Cayenne, and I think it's a $2,000 for the actual mat itself. So 7,000 euros total to get this capability. One thing I think about on these things is like how much loss is there, and they say it's 90% efficient. So we're looking at like I don't know 12 point whatever kilowatts are going into this, and 11 kilowatts are being actually sent to the batteries. So you're losing a little bit of energy, which is one point whatever kilowatts is not nothing. That's a lot of juice, for the for the convenience of not having to you have to pull into the garage in the exact spot.
I assume the car is going to help you for that.
Yeah, they have this it's almost like a video game heads-up display. If you scroll down a little bit, you can see the interface there. Just a little.
Have you ever seen?
Just a little bit further, you'll see it, and it's yeah, it's not great. But there's a gallery at the bottom. If you scroll down, you can see it in action.
Okay, yeah.
So not super easy or super whatever. I mean, like, is plugging in a car that hard? I don't know. Maybe, working on like a hanging car charger that hangs over your carport or something would be a little bit easier. I don't know.
A lot cheaper too, and a little bit more efficient. Not cable charging is also not 100% efficient, but it's closer to like 95 than 90, and that 5% difference, like you said, at a pretty decent charge rate like 11 kilowatts is significant. You cannot, you have to take it into account.
Yeah.
I mean, I as an option, it's an option.
Yep. Yeah, maybe you have accessibility issues. Maybe that makes more sense for somebody like that. Or maybe you have a fleet and you want to throw. I don't know if you have a fleet of Cayennes. You've got. You could just hire somebody to.
Yeah, you can have a full-time attendant for your charge port.
Right.
No, I agree. Like I do. I think it's good that it's an option, and it's gonna probably. This is one of the first generation in an actual production vehicle. There was some third party like aftermarket that you could install for a while. I don't think it was really successful, but to have it in production on a production vehicle, probably it's going to improve over time. So that's good. But right now, for 7,000 euros, it's very expensive for not a ton of value added. That's how I see it. All right, so we're gonna have a little bit of time to take some questions. I'm gonna have to leave for the airport pretty soon, but we just want to talk real quick about GM already signaling that they're gonna slow down production of their electric vehicles in the US by quite a bit, and that's obviously due because they know that the tax credit is going away. They know that demand's gonna go down. Even though EVs have been great for them this year, they've been a good ramp up. They say that according to an internal memo obtained by Reuters, they're gonna halt production for two Cadillac EVs, the Lyriq and the Vistic, during the first 5 months of 2026, basically to reduce inventory. And then the plans to also suspend one of its two shifts at the facility. So there's going to be some layoffs, unfortunately. Then there's also the Kansas City Fairfax assembly plant where they're going to produce the new Bolt. So the new Bolt, so that's also a second shift. Yeah, that's also the second shift going away there. So before it even launched, the new Bolt is losing its second shift. It's not a great look. I mean, obviously they see demand slowing down with the tax credit going away, and they want to get ahead of that and not have it, just start building crazy inventory with very little demand. We've talked about this a lot about the impact of the tax credit. We do anticipate quite a slowdown, especially in Q4, especially in Q1. But I see EVs recovering in the US in the second half of 2026, even with Trump. But it's going to take some effort. So So I do like to see GM say, okay, we're just doing that for the first half of 2026. Then we're gonna reevaluate. Honestly, I think that's a fair and reasonable approach for them. But I hope they are ready to turn the faucet back up, strongly.
Yeah. Cadillac, when I visited them for the Lyric drive, they didn't seem to think that the tax credit going away would be a huge burden for that particular brand, because a lot of their customers were making more money than the tax credit would get anyway. But here we are.
Was that before the Optic though? The Optic is pretty affordable.
Yeah, the Optic's a little bit lower cost. So yeah, I guess I don't think Escalade IQ buyers are going to be change their but yeah, the Bolt thing is sad. Obviously I have a thing for the Bolt, and I hope that thing sells well even without the $7,500 tax credit.
Well, we need to see it first. We need to see the specs, the pricing, and all that. So let's see.
All right, let's go to the questions. Porsche just announced supercharger access for their customers. I assume this includes the rest of Volkswagen Auto Group too. Is the last one, so everyone is on board with NACS. I don't think that's everybody. I don't think
Audi announced today, so Porsche and Audi, but I don't think I've seen VW just yet.
Yeah, their software guys are a little bit slower than the rest, I think, to be generous. Hopefully it's software, not anything else. Is it the last one? I think
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I'm of the big ones. Another question: Hyundai battery manufacturing plant in Georgia just got raided by ICE. Jeez,
that's nuts.
Was this retribution twofer by the Trump regime going after both EVs and immigrants? I guess that is a two birds, one stone move.
Basically, sounds like it.
I mean, are they hiring illegal?
But at the same time, ICE is going after everyone and everything. They want numbers. That's all they care about. There's no human factor into it. I don't think they're. I would be surprised if they were like, "Oh, nice, we're raiding a battery factory. Screw EVs." Like, it's just they want to get the brown people out.
All right. Abundance is a ruse from people who can't do emissions math. It's lazy analysis that ignores all the massive challenges of achieving zero carbon, which will include massive necessary austerity.
You cannot sell that though. That doesn't sell.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like we're at a point where adding additional energy, clean energy, in the form of nuclear and solar and wind, is just as inexpensive, if not way less expensive than coal or natural gas. So, from that standpoint, I don't quite see the massive challenge. I think it's almost inherent without our current administration. Snowmark says, so Mark Carney just put a permanent pause on the EV mandate. That's your...
I didn't see that go through, but I mean, there's not the EV mandates don't really matter anyway. Like this idea, like, oh, we're gonna stop non-EV sales at a specific point.
Yeah,
you need to incentivize EV adoption, but I've never been a big fan of mandates. Anyway, yeah, I mean, there's been a giant slowdown in EV sales in Canada because of the tariffs on both sides, on both the Chinese and the Americans. So it's not feasible either because we're not producing much EVs here in Canada. So
yeah,
there needs to be a change of the approach. Something has to break for EVs to pick back up again.
All right, Strong Finkel says, wonder when these are everywhere. Nice truck charging hub with 1.2 megawatt charging. Today charged a truck at 728 kilowatts.
Jeez.
And has 1.2 megawatt batteries.
Wow, what truck are we talking about here?
That's a pretty fast charge. Although that would take, an hour and a half, 2 hours to charge a 1.2 megawatt battery. All right, Renault 5 Alpine A290 already beat VW to the affordable and more sustainable EV punch. Our Barth 2, too bad manufacturers suck. and won't focus on small in the USA. Yeah, I think we're beating this drum almost every week, Carl.
Mhm.
Like we would like to see smaller vehicles in the USA. Unfortunately, I think we're in the minority, but maybe somebody, probably Chinese or somebody not US, will build a compelling small vehicle that everybody wants.
Yeah. The R5 is a beast. Yeah, we need to check it out. We haven't been to Europe in a minute to check it out. Oh, I'm going though. By the way, with that said, I'm going. I'm not gonna say which one it is, but I'm going to Europe to check out a cool EV next month. I'm gonna let you figure out which one it is, but it's on the other side of the spectrum from price range wise as the R5, but it's gonna be pretty impressive. Yeah, Volkswagen could make an effort and like let's put some money behind it and just try to see if we can say not even the ID.1 Life, whatever it's gonna be called, but let's try to do the ID.Polo now in the US. See if we, because US had a decent sized hatchback segment for a while, so it could make a comeback. I could see it make a comeback. I don't know.
Yeah, and finally, yet another tech that Tesla teased, others deliver. We're talking
That's
about
right.
the wireless charging or induction charging.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that. They said they were going to do it like 2 years ago, and then they never did.
It's all part of the pump, and there's got to be a better word for it. Pump and forget about it or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, we did this pretty fast. Sorry if it's not a long episode this week. I need to go catch a plane and get to the airport and try to beat the traffic a little bit. So next week I should be back. Yeah, I'm traveling again next week, but it's going to be in the first half of the week. I'm going to go test out an electric ATV in Wyoming, of all places. So it should be fun. But I should be back home by Friday to do the podcast regular time next week. So thank you for tuning in and listening. If you did enjoy the episode, please give us a thumbs up, a like, a subscribe. All those things are free to do, and they help the show more than you think. And we're going to see you next week. Have a good one.